In your opinion, how come these POGO entities are always associated with criminal elements? How come they're closely linked? From your analysis, Yusek Cruz. Again, we'll continue with the discussion of POGOs. I'll go back to online gaming earlier, online gaming later. But we'll continue to discuss POGOs because that's the most controversial topic on hand. We'll call on Baok, Yusek Gilbert Cruz is here. And just to enlighten us, I know that you have been raiding so many facilities, POGO facilities. And I want to ask you a question. If we continue to, let me backtrack. Why do you think POGOs are always associated with these criminal elements? We showed earlier on the slide that a lot of this, especially on the later stage, a lot of these POGO entities that you raided, they all have the same hallmarks. Human trafficking, torture, even prostitution, and then during our raids, I went with you to inspect some of the facilities. We also found out that a lot of these elements are being run by criminal syndicates who have criminal records abroad. Some of them, or most of them, have warrant of arrest. In your opinion, how come these POGO entities are always associated with criminal elements? How come they're closely linked? From your analysis, Yusek Cruz.
Basically, sir, they're looking for a place to do their thing, like yung scamming activities. And I think nakita nila, sir, yung Pilipinas as their playground. When I say playground, sir, things they need to continue to operate their legal activities are available here, like having a new identity. Every time we raided POGO hubs, this is a constant thing that's happening in every raids that we're doing. Laging may mga fugitives, sir. Sometimes we get 15, 9 fugitives in other POGO hubs. 11 and checking on their identities, they already assume identities. And kung mapapansin mo, sir, meron na silang mga driver's license, meron silang mga PhilHealth cards, meron silang mga even birth certificates and passports. In some cases, nakakuha kami, sir, sa Thailand ng mga passports. So we're thinking na kaya, sir, naging puntahan tayo ng mga criminal elements dito is because they can get what they want here. And in cases that they run into trouble with the law, naayos nila, sir. It's really hard to accept their reality, but in most cases, sir, naayos nila yung problema nila rito. And yun nga, sir. And then nakuha nila, sir, yung mga weaknesses ng mga Pilipinos. And ang isa pang problema, sir, na nakita namin is yung existence still ng pre-registered SIM cards. We're talking about online gaming here, sir. And what's the common denominators in POGOs, in online gaming, na yung sinasabi nga ni Chairman na pag tinanggal nila, maya-maya nandiyan na uli. Kasi there still exists yung pre-registered SIM cards. They can avail of these pre-registered SIM cards dito sa atin. Nakakagawa kasi in one case, we demonstrated yung paggawa ng mga SIM cards kasama yung mga media kung paano ginagawa. Dito lang ginagawa . And they can even contract a group of pre-registered SIM cards creator para gumawa ng thousands of SIM cards for them. So, not unless we can solve the problem of these pre-registered SIM cards, sir, hindi matatanggal dito, sir, yung POGO. Kasi they always hide behind dito sa mga fake identities na to, sir. after getting what they want, let's say, pag nakuha na nila o pag nasuba na nila o pag na-scam na nila yung isang tao, tatapon lang nila yung SIM cards and that's it. Nasira na yung buhay ng isang tao dahil dun sa isang pre-registered SIM cards. They'll just use another pre-registered SIM card na ginawa nila for the purpose of scamming persons. And in recent raids na ginawa namin, may mga nakuha kaming pre-registered SIM cards na nanggaling na po sa what country, sir? Sa ibang bansa, sir. So, UK, yeah. Meron tayo sa UK, meron tayo sa India ng mga pre-registered SIM cards. So, sabi namin, hanggang nag-i-exist itong mga to, sir, hindi mauubos yung online gaming na yan, hindi mauubos yung POGO na yan, sir. Kasi, sir, dito, nakakakuha sila eh. Kahit anong bantay natin, sir, okay, nasira na natin, sir, yung number 3, number 4, number 2, na pinakamalalaking POGO hubs dito sa Pilipinas. Pag kumalat ito, sir, dahil meron pa rin silang pre-registered SIM cards, they can do scamming in houses. 50-50 person, sir. Sa mga condo, sir, they can do scamming, sir, as long as they possess and they can avail of these pre-registered SIM cards. So, yun, sir, ang nakikita namin na problema. And, of course, sir, dapat maghigpit talaga tayo rito pagdating, sir, sa mga government-issued IDs. Kasi sabi ko nga, sir, Philippines is really a playground for them now para gumawa, sir, ng mga scamming activities nila and criminal activities as well. Kasi, sir, hindi lang po scamming ang ginagawa nila. They're now doing kidnappings, killings. They have enforcers now, sir, dito sa atin. And na sila mismo dati, gumagamit pa sila ng mga Filipino counterparts but later on they realize na lagi silang nahuhuli pag may counterpart na Pilipino silang kasama. Now what they're doing is nag-i-import na sila ng mga, it's either retired military from other countries or some are retired policemen. Ito po ay nasa record natin, na ang hinahabol namin dun sa ibang POGO hubs or retired military or retired policemen. And probably that will explain why we have military uniforms and military and police uniforms doon po sa mga POGO hubs na nire-raid natin. And yun na po ang ginagamit nila. Sila na mismo, they have their own rule. They created their own parang batas sa loob ng POGO hub. And these POGO hubs are self-contained POGO hubs na lahat nandun na eh. Hindi na kailangan lumabas ang isang POGO hub worker. They have prostitution inside. They have KTVs inside. They have doctors inside. They have pharmaceuticals inside. Groceries. So you don't need, pag nasa loob ka po ng POGO hub, you don't need to get out dahil yung sinusweldo mo, dun mo nalang binibili, yung POGO hub na rin ang maniningil sa'yo. Yun lang pag hindi ka nakakabayad, at ayaw mo magbayad at ayaw mong gawin yung pinagagawa nila or siguro hindi ka po nakaka-comply sa kote nila, then you will be subjected to tortures. And yung pong mga nakikita natin videos na palala na po ng palala there are more gross videos na hindi na po namin sinasama dahil baka hindi nyo na ma-take, yung kanina nga, may nasingitan pa tayong isa dyan dahil hiniwa-hiwa ho yung puwet nun tapos nilagyan ng ketchup na maanghang. So ganun na ho sila parang sabi ko nga, this is their playground now and they can do whatever they want. So, yun lang po, sir.
Thank you for that, Yusek. In Yusek, after raiding, we have raided 2 probably, or 3, huge POGO hubs, the one in Las Piñas, the one in Bamban, and the one in Porac. And seems to me na these are really probably the biggest operating in our country. Have we already apprehended, have we already stopped the perpetrators of these POGO hubs? Meaning, have we already apprehended or charged the mastermind of these POGOs? Tapos na ba? In other words, tapos na ba ito? Are we seeing the end of this type of criminality?
We did charge some of the bosses, sir. Malalaki na, sir, yung mga nahuli natin But ano po to sir kabit-kabit na in our analysis, nag-ooperate pa rin sir yung iba Despite yung may mga inaprubahan po tayo sir, di ba? Yung mga temporary license natin and but yung iba po they really intend not to magpa-license dahil mas gusto nilang mag-operate sir ng kolorum ng illegal. So, ang nakita namin, okay sir, na-stop natin yung 3, 4, 5 na malalaking POGO sir But nag-ooperate pa rin po sir yung iba. I think we did some impact in some ways but really for them to stop, hindi po natin nagagawa sir. I think kailangan sir pumukpok pa po tayo sir. But yun nga yung sinabi ko sir if we can do something about this proliferation of this pre-registered SIM card sir, baka ma-stop natin ito.
We'll talk to DICTs here, no? So I'm sure they're taking note of that, and we already flagged them about the problems of the fake SIM cards, or not say fake SIM cards, but the fake identities being used in SIM cards. We already flagged them with that. We'll talk to them later on about that, no? Because a lot of it, when you talk about digital internet, we have no choice but to talk to DICT. Because they're the agency that is supposed to be leading the way in assuring the public that the digital space is safe for everyone, no? And not being abused. No? But obviously that's not the case. We're not seeing that. So we'll hear from the ACT about their efforts to clean up the digital space in our country. No? Next question ko, Yusek. There's also a school of thought that if we ban POGOs, they will go underground. Or if we ban POGOs, the illegal will continue. Because they're illegal. Whether we ban or we don't ban, they will continue. What is your opinion on that? Do you think banning POGOs will still yield to the same illegal activities? Based on your expert opinion and based on your observation, I'm sure you've seen a lot of all of this, yung kanilang patterns, no? You've seen a lot of the patterns, you see a lot of their mentality. So what's your opinion on that type of school of thought?
Well, definitely sir, Mr. Chair, when you ban POGOs, tama yun sir, ma-stop natin yan. But we need to be more sir, yung mas masigasig tayo sa pagpa-follow up. Dahil yun ang mangyayari sir pag na-ban natin yan, magliliitan yan sir And then magigirilya yan. Yung ginagawa nila sa multinational, yun sir ang mangyayari. They just do scamming activities in houses. So yun lang sir ang magiging problema natin. But ang solusyon naman na ino-offer namin dyan sir, we can do it on a local level na sir If let's say the mayor or the governor or the city mayor will be aggressive sir in running after this yung mga kolorum na POGO hubs na ito, yung mga maliliit na to sir, mas madali na compared sir dito sa malalaki sir, it's hard. I mean sir, we already told you our stories on how hard for us to even apply for search warrant, even to get help from other law enforcement agencies. Medyo hirap po kami because of the connections, because of the network, because of yung resources na ginagamit sir ng mga management ng POGO hubs na yan laban sa mga gustong manghuli sa kanila. Unlike sir kung maliliit sir, I think yung local sir kaya na Halimbawa sir, in other cities like Valenzuela and Bulacan, they already banned POGO hubs there sir, operation of POGO hubs. So it would be easier sir kasi pag sa local sir, you can check on do you have the proper mayor's permit o kaya do you have the necessary fire code compliance in that area sir. Tapos it will be very easy kasi sir, halimbawa kung sa bahay yan sir, yung bahay lang na yun sir ang bukas ang ilaw sa gabi. So ang daling makita na nun sir So it would be easier sir. Comparing dun sa parang fortress sir na gigibain natin sir yung gate o akitin mo pa yung gate para makita mo yung operation, which is what they're doing in this mga POGO hubs na malalaki. But kung nasa subdivision sila sir, even the the homeowners association, sir, kaya na pong pasukin yun. So, mas madali, sir, kung ano. Pero, banning, sir, pwede pong mangyari. Hindi po magiging problema, sir, yung madidilute sila.
Yusek, nakita ko kasi, no, in our times when we inspected the facilities, I saw some of the workers there. They transfer from one company to the other, no? From one POGO hub to the other. In fact, they start off as legitimate or legal, and then they end up working in illegal. No? I saw some paperwork regarding that. Mga IDs na nare-recover, yung mga working permits na nare-recover. So, in other words, nag-umpisa sila legal, but they end up in illegal, and they transfer, they move around. No? That's what we, at least that's what I saw, no, in those briefings and the inspections that we made. Is that the same pattern that you've seen in the past raids that you conducted?
Opo, sir. Now they're doing it in groups. Dati, isa-isa lang, sir. Now, ang nakikita mo namin is, pag mainit dito sa isang POGO hub na ito, they'll just, a group of 10 or 20 persons, lilipat lang yan sa isang POGO hubs. So, yung mga team leaders nila, now they are, kasi sir, when you are obliged to reach a certain quota, let's say 5 million to 8 million, yung isang group of 20 or group of 10, diba, inobliga ka, sir, na you need to reach 8 o 10 million quota every week. Ngayon, sir, the same group, sir, paglilipat yan, sir, isang grupo na yan. So, palipat-lipat lang sila, sir. Sa mga POGO, sir, dito sa Metro Manila and even in POGOs in Region 3 and Region 4, sir. Palipat-lipat. Even, sir, yung mga nare-rescue namin sa Myanmar, yung mga nare-rescue namin dun, sir. Dito, sir, sa Pilipinas, yung mga Pilipino doon, ngayon, supervisor sila rito. And they're handling groups na already.
In other words, ang nakikita ko kasi yung mga, again, based on your observation, nagiging daan nitong mga legal POGO hubs para makapasok sila. And then they eventually transfer. And now, narinig ko sa inyo that they operate now in teams. I guess meron silang they organize themselves and they move around. Is that what you also observe? Is that these legal POGO hubs, because when they come here, they bring in thousands of people. So I'm not sure if they can monitor all of the movement of those thousands of people, especially if they don't perform. No? So, and that's what I see when I inspect yung mga IDs. Nakita natin yan, the IDs of different POGO hubs. So based on your observation, is that the phenomena? Is that a pattern that you are seeing, that these legal POGO hubs become the door that opens, and then once they're in, nandito na sa Pilipinas, it's easy to move around?
Yung mga legal POGO hubs, sir, frankly speaking, sir, dyan din po tayo nakakakuha, sir, ng mga, ng mga scammers. Most of the POGO hubs na ni-raid namin, sir, may mga license yung iba and yet they're doing scamming activities inside those POGO hubs. And yung sir, yun nga, sir, palipat-lipat lang sila. Sa tingin ko, sir, hindi na nila tinitignan whether that's a legal POGO hub or illegal POGO hub. Ang tinitingnan lang nila, sir, kung eto maganda pa pasweldo nito, eto ba maayos ang pasweldo. Yun na lang, sir. Pero as to whether that's a legal or illegal POGO hub, sir, di na po. They don't care already, sir.
Thank you for that, for sharing with us your thoughts on that, Yusek.